This is the first episode of Jacob Explains. The first thing I'm going to explain is the quite convoluted storyline of Bionicles, if you remember those toys from your childhood. And I'm Anthony, and I'm going to interject with unnecessary, sometimes funny, sometimes possibly hurtful comments while I text people. Okay. So, this is the story part of the Bionicles Wikipedia article. So props to
Wikipedia knows everything, clearly.
So props to whoever put this all together.
Because you're crazy.
It's nuts. Alright. The 2001 to 2008 storyline arc of Bionicle was set in a science fantasy world inhabited predominantly by part organic, part machine beings with souls. The subterranean world is contained in massive underground domes, which reside in the massive robot body of Matanui. This world, dubbed the Matoran Universe, and its races were once protected by a great spirit named Matanui, the giant robot, until he was cast into an eternal sleep by the evil Makuta Pterodax and the Brotherhood of Makuta. The world of the Matoran eventually fell under the rule of Makuta Pterodax, but the mask of life that was stored inside Matanui, now containing his very spirit, was shot out of his body by Pterodax, who had just gained control of the Matoran universe. The giant robot. He shot... Alright,
so there's an evil guy who gained control of the giant robot universe body and shot his soul out of it.
The good guy's soul. Out of the giant robot body. That originally belonged to the universe. Which is the universe. So that he could exile the spirit of Matanui. The mask landed on the planet of Barra Magna, and the mask created a smaller body for Matanui.
So the giant robot now has a smaller body on a different planet.
Yep. 2009 began a whole new saga of the storyline, leaving behind the previous years and venturing out to newer possibilities, as Matanui, the spirit of the giant robot, after having been banished from Makuta Pterodax, crash lands on a mysterious barren planet called Barra Magna. Here he becomes the center of the story and makes new allies as he tries to find a way to save the Matoran and the Toa from Makuta Pterodax's tyrannical rule. 2001, Quest for the Masks. The story begins with 6 Toa Mata: Tahu, Liwa, Gali, Kopaka, Pohatu, and Anua.
And of course there's only one woman, because sexism is awesome.
Arriving on an island known as the Island of Matanui, remembering... Alright.
Okay, so there's an island of Matanui, there's the spirit of Matanui, and then there's Matanui. Matanui is the universe. There's the spirit of Matanui, which is no longer on Matanui, the universe.
Yep.
And now there's an island...
Inside the giant robot.
The giant robot. So the island of Matanui is inside the giant robot.
It's like, alright, it's like if I had an organ called the Jacob Brisson inside me. Anyways.
Alright, I follow that.
Alright. Arriving on an unknown island known as the Island of Matanui, remembering nothing beyond their names and scraps of disturbing dreams. They discover that the inhabitants, the Matoran villagers, face constant attacks from infected Rahi, savage beasts controlled by the powerful influence of Makuta Pterodax through use of infected Kanohi masks, causing a war which lasted about 1,000 years. Notice the time difference. 1,000 years. And in the Toa Mata, fighting for about a month. Takes the Toa 1 month to clear up a 1,000-year war. Pretty awesome. To protect the Matoran. After searching for and finding numerous Kanohi masks, the Toa each received a golden Kanohi mask with tremendous power and sought out Makuta himself. After challenging the ferocious Manus crabs and the Shadow Toa, evil doppelganger-like illusion replicas of the Toa confront Makuta and defeat him by uniting their elemental powers.
They defeat crabs.
Yes. Also fitting with the disease theme of the giant body. Basically, Makuta's like either a split personality or a virus.
I'll say he's a virus.
He's probably...
Keep things simple.
Yes. Smash Nui had crabs. Anyways.
And it took them 1,000 years to fight. And then 1 month for them to learn.
2002. The Borax Swarms. Upon his defeat, Makuta released the ancient Borak. Borak are robotic drones that were designed to cleanse the island of Matanui to its state in the before time.
So they're like antibodies.
Yes.
Okay.
The Borak are antibodies, and the Toa are white blood cells.
Alright.
The Borak began to tear through the villages on the island, forcing Matoran to flee. One inventive Matoran of Earth, Nuparu, builds a powerful vehicle called the Boxor, made from parts of a damaged Borak in order to fight off the swarms. The Toa,
Earth Village, not Earth, the planet Earth, but the Earth Village, the village that was like Earth.
Yeah. It's kind of like
there's Earth, fire,
ice,
jungle, water,
and rock.
Because rock is different than Earth.
Yeah. And ice is different from water.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Well, ice is frozen water.
Yeah.
Whatever. Moving on.
Rock is not frozen.
Okay, moving on.
The Toa, unaware of the Borak's purpose, collected the Borak's Krana, mask-like creatures that function as their brains, to confront the Borak queens, the Barog, Kadak and Gadak.
There's a lot of H's in that.
The defeated Kadak and Gadak were sealed in a prison created by the Toa's elemental powers.
Captain Planets.
The Toa Mata were then exposed to a substance called energized protodermis. Alright, proto means first. Dermis means skin.
First skin.
Yes, energized first skin, which transformed them, granting them new armor and weapons. They renamed themselves the Toa Nuva.
That was clever.
That was 2000.
The Toa, yeah, that was clever. Like, that was some clever, like, whoever came up, like...
A lot of the words for the Bionicles were actually taken from New Zealand. Yeah, and New Zealand actually almost sued LEGO for use of their language, which is kind of weird, apparently.
I'm gonna sue you for anything.
Well, anyways, 2003. This is only 2003. We have all the way up until 2010.
So you better keep going, otherwise no one's gonna want to watch this video, because it's already 7 minutes long.
Alright, the Borak Call Strike / the Mask of Light. After the defeat of the Borak Queens, the Toa and Matoran begin to use the Borak to rebuild their destroyed island, Matanui. However, 6 new elite Borak, called the Borak Call, appeared with the purpose of releasing the Barog. Their presence was first noticed when the Borak...
Balrog, not Balrog.
It just sounds like
Balrog.
Balrog. It sounds like Balrog.
Like Ba, like Bahama, and Rog, like, rag.
Their presence was first noticed when the Borak swarms oddly returned to sleep in their hives, and the Toa were no longer able to control the elements. The Borak Call had stolen the 6 stones that granted the Toa Nuva the ability to control the 6 elements.
I feel like you would hide those better.
The Call used these stones to unlock the Barog from their cubicle prison, but as they began to place these keys, the Toa Nuva of Fire, Tahu, used the Mask of Time, a powerful hidden mask that slowed down time long enough for the Toa to come up with the plan of pooling all their energy into the stone tablets.
So instead of slowing down time to actually execute this plan, they slow down time to come up with a plan that they then stop slowing down time to execute the plan at normal time.
Yeah.
Make choices. If you were ever faced with this situation, don't do that. That was a bad choice.
For the Toa to come up with a plan of pooling all their energy into the stone tablets. The stone tablets then begin to give off power to the Borak Call, making them unimaginably strong and arrogant, with dreams of leading the Borak swarms themselves, rather than freeing the Borak queens. However, their newfound power exceeded their control, as the Toa Nuva continued to feed it to them through the tablets. Eventually, each of the 6 Borak Call fell victim to a horrible demise created by their own out-of-control powers, allowing the Toa Nuva to regain their abilities of elemental control and bring peace at last to the island of Matanui. However, this peace would not last. Shortly afterwards, two Matoran, Takua and Jaller, discovered the Kanohi Mask of Light. They were tasked with traveling across the island of Matanui to find the Toa of Light. Meanwhile, Makuta created and sent out 6 creatures, called Rakshi, to find the mask and stop the coming of the Toa of Light.
Rakshi were awesome.
The Rakshi tore across Matanui, destroying the villages of Takoro and Anukoro. The Rakshi were stopped by the Toa, but not before killing Jaller. Let's just kill this small guy. Who cares about the guys who
We're
got
gonna
actually...
destroy these villages and kill one person.
Yep. Joller's death caused Takua to realize that he was the Toa of Light, and he...
Wait, what?
Alright, so...
So they killed this guy's friend, and then... Which one died?
Joller.
Okay, so the other one says, my friend died. I must be the Toa of Light.
Being grief-stricken gives you superpowers. And... and he donned the... Don't think about killing me. And he donned the mask to become Toa Takanuva. Takanuva went to confront Makuta, and during their battle, they both fell...
Wait, hold on. Couldn't they just put the mask on before? They never thought about this. They're journeying across this entire island, and they're like, I wonder what this mask, feels like when I wear it. They just put it on, and they're like, oh, wait, I'm the Toa.
I don't know.
I feel like a lot of this, unnecessary destruction could have been avoided.
Probably.
Anyway.
Takanuva went to confront Makuta, and during their battle, they both fell into a pool of energized protodermis, fur skin. A silvery substance with the power to... I don't know. It's a silvery substance. It doesn't say... a pool of skin. A silvery substance with the power to change or destroy a being, and became fused together into the being Takutanuva.
That was clever.
Takutanuva then proceeded to open the door to the city of Metrunui, allowing the Matoran and Toa through. Using some of his life energy, he revived Joller while still holding the door open. However, the use of energy was too great, and Takutanuva was crushed by the door, seeming to kill both Takutanuva and Pterodax, leaving only Takanuva's Mask of Light.
Okay, so he fights the ultimate evil, wins, and then gets crushed by a door.
Yep. You can only...
You are blown.
He can either hold open the door or save someone's life. But if he does both, then the door crushes him.
Dude, you are so blown. You just got crushed by a door. How do you feel?
It's like running into a door, but it kills you. It's already embarrassing. It's already embarrassing, and then you die. Takanuva was promptly revived when his mask was used to activate the beacon Metrunui.
Oh, so that's okay.
We're going to use even more of the energy that was from this thing, even though using up all the energy caused him to die. But if we use more energy, then he'll live. Makes sense. Afterwards, the Matoran prepared to return to the island city of Metrunui. This is a whole new place.
But it's still inside the giant Metrunui robot.
Never forget.
Matanui robot.
Yeah, Matanui is the giant robot.
So there's the island of Matanui, and now they're going to the city of Metrunui, both inside the giant robot Matanui.
And he's not there anymore. Because he got kicked out.
His spirit is not in his body. So it's a giant lifeless robot body universe thing that has two cities now. Matanui, the island Matanui,
that we know of.
And the city Metrunui. And his life force of Matanui is somewhere else.
2004, Legends of Metrunui. As the Matoran prepared to journey to Metrunui, the Turaga, village elders, revealed that they had once been Toa, fighting in Metrunui against threats such as the Morbuzakvine and the Turaga Doom-controlled Vaki enforcement squads.
Why didn't you mention that before? Before all these people got killed. Yo, we were once Toa. Do this so you don't screw up and make the same mistakes we did. Oh, by the way, we were Toa. What? What did that pass?
1,000 years ago.
Oh, yeah, before the 1,000-year war that the Toa ended in 100.
These guys are old. They, as Matoran, were transformed into the Toa Metru by Toa stones containing power sacrificed by Toa Likan. Their mission was to find the 6 great discs and defeat the Morbuzak, a plant menace that threatened to destroy the city. When they did, however, they were betrayed by Doom, the Turaga of the city. Later, they discovered that Makuta Pterodax had taken the disguise of Doom and taken control of the Vaki, law enforcement robots. His plan was to put the Matoran to sleep, wipe out their memories, and reawaken them as their conqueror. The Toa fled, but were attacked by Pterodax. Combining their elemental powers, they were able to seal Pterodax in a prison of crystallized protodermis.
So, again, this is like Captain Planet.
Yes. The Toa traveled to a new island, which would later be known as Matanui, vowing to return to save the Matoran. On their journey, they found many dangers, such as the long-lost Matoran Mavra, a prehistoric Rahi, and the early prototypes for the Vaki, the Krali. When they got to Matanui... When they got to Matanui, the Toa Metru hid the Grey Masks of Power, the Toa Mata and Toa Nuva, found in the Bionicle Chronicles series, and hid.
They didn't hide very well because it took the Borak Call like 2 seconds to find them.
Well, it took the Toa like 2 seconds.
Well, it took the Toa like 2 seconds to find the epic powers.
Yeah,
it took the Borak Call like 2 seconds to find their stones and just be like,
and hid 6 Toa stones that would later summon the Toa Mata from their slumber. 2005, Web of Shadows. The Toa returned to the city. However, the evil king Sidorak and his viceroy Rudaka, agents of Makuta, have been reigning in terror on the island, with vicious spider-like creatures called Vizorak overrunning the city and mutating everything that lives. The Toa were soon captured and mutated into bestial half-Toa, half-Rahi Toa Hordika. To revert back to normal, the Toa sought out the legendary Rahi Kitangu, rumored to be knowledgeable in venoms and their counter-agents. Toa Vakama, however, succumbed to his Rahi impulses and betrayed the other Toa to join Sidorak, who made him the leader of the Vizorak. The other Toa confronted the Vizorak horde in a great battle and convinced Vakama to rejoin them. Hey, you just betrayed us, but hey, come, help us, it'll be fun. We won't hold it against you.
Someone's really confused here.
Vakama then ordered the Vizorak to be free. Kitangu then killed Sidorak, whom Rudaka and Vakama betrayed. The 6 Toa then defeated Rudaka with all 6 of their elemental powers. Captain Planet. Unknown to the Toa, Rudaka carried a shard of Makuta's prison within her armor. When the shard was destroyed by the Toa's elemental assault, Makuta's prison was destroyed as well, freeing the Master of Shadows. Having been restored by Kitangu, the Toa Metru brought the Matoran to a new island. On their way to Matanui, Toa Vakama jumps out of the airship to retrieve the Mask of Time. After locating and repairing minor damage to the mask, Vakama is attacked by Voporak, a temporal sensitive employed by the Dark Hunter organization. Vakama is knocked unconscious and falls into the sea. Makuta finds him and rescues him, believing Vakama to have hidden the mask. To discover its location, Makuta casts Vakama into an illusion. After waking up, he eventually realizes flaws within the illusion and manages to free himself. He and Makuta, commanding a small troop of Rakshi, form a truce to retake the Mask of Time from the Shadowed One, whom Voporak serves, and his bodyguard Sentrak.
So there's someone more evil than Makuta who's also Shadowed. So wasn't Makuta the Master of Shadows?
Yeah, and this one's the Shadowed One.
So the Master of Shadows employed some other people's help to find the Shadow.
Weird stuff.
Like, there's a lot of, like, shadows going on right here.
During the ensuing conflict, which Kitangu joins in an attempt to kill Makuta, Voporak and Sentrak are incapacitated and the Shadowed One crippled. Vakama steals the mask and attempts to flee, but the Shadowed One damages Vakama's jetpack with his eye-beams.
Note that eye-beams is one word. Now, the first time we ever read this, it was about 4 o'clock in the morning, and we were very delirious. So, the sentence damages Vakama's jetpack with his eye-beams was the most awesome thing we had ever heard. And even now, at 7:48 p.m., it is still very awesome.
Pretty much. Except for this time we aren't rolling on the floor laughing. Makuta pursues Vakama to the great furnace of the city's fire district. In lieu of Vakama's threat of destroying the mask, Makuta agrees to Vakama's term of a year of peace with the Matoran, and teleports Vakama to the island of Matanui, content to know the location of the mask. The Toa then proceed to awaken the Matoran by sacrificing their Toa and elemental power. Then, as Karaga, they christen the island and direct the Matoran to build the villages.
So now everything's come full cycle.
Circle. Anyways, so Makuta this entire time had the power to teleport people, and apparently he never used that to his advantage.
Like, you're fighting 6 people at once. Like, use your power to either teleport all of them away, or teleport yourself away. Like,
2006, Island of Doom. The Toa Nuva learned that Matanui was not only asleep, but dying, the giant robot.
Matanui the giant robot, not Matanui the island, or Matanui the spirit.
To save him, they must travel to the island of Voyanui,
Also inside the giant robot. Third island inside the giant robot.
And seek the mysterious Kanohi Agnika, the Mask of Life. The Toa Nuva set out on this adventure, but are quickly taken prisoner by 6 new and powerful enemies, the Piraka.
Okay, so there's always conveniently 6 of them, and they just started their adventure, and they're getting imprisoned already.
Yep.
These guys are not smart, man.
So the Piraka's names are Zakten, Hakan, Vizak, Thok, Radok, and Avik. They sought the mask for their own dark purposes.
You're seeking the Mask of Life for dark purposes.
When the Toa failed to return, a group of 6 Matoran followed after them. Jaller, Holly,
6 again.
Huki, Nupara, Kongu, and Matoro.
And keep in mind, Jaller was the one that died in Mega Robot.
Escaped to the island in Toa canisters, but as they traveled, bolts of lightning from the Red Star
Inside a giant robot, there's a red star that shoots lightning.
transformed them into the Toa Inika. Upon their arrival, they learn of the Piraka and how they enslaved the local Matoran by posing as false Toa in order to make the Matoran build them a fortress.
Okay.
With the help of a small Matoran resistance and the ancient guardian Axon, the Toa Inika were able to free the Toa Nuba, find the Temple of the Mask, and battle the Piraka, as well as the other creatures guarding it, including Vizon, on which the Ignika was fused to.
Axon, wasn't that the name of the ship in Wall-E?
No.
No, that was the Axiom. Right.
They eventually emerged victorious with the Kanohi, but the Mask of Life possessed a will of its own, and in the last moment invades them all, rushing into the depths of the sea.
Wait. What?
It's alive, and is like, bye, and runs to the ocean.
So the mask comes alive, is like, whoa, JK, and runs into the ocean?
Yes.
Cool.
Inside the giant robot.
Which is inside the giant, yeah, right, inside the giant robot.
Alright, 2007, Sea of Darkness. Following the chase for the Mask of Life, the Toa Inika descended into the waters after receiving the mysterious clue, Save the Sunken City, from an unknown Matoran.
I just feel like I see like all these Toa running like after this mask that's like running on the beach. It's like, ah, you can't catch me, I'm the Mask of Life, and it just like jumps in the ocean. And we're like, crap.
From an unknown Matoran who had saved Holly from drowning at the cost of him dying from decompression sickness.
You can die from that.
Especially when you're a robot.
Right. No, they're only half robot.
Well, they're half
robot,
half
biological. So they're like,
with souls.
yes, with souls.
A burst of energy from the Mask of Life, the thing they're chasing, transformed the Toa Inika into water-breathing forms.
So turn them all into fish.
Basically. They discovered
biological soul beings.
They discovered an inhabited village of Maranui that had broken off from Voyanui and sunk 1,000 years ago.
4 villages. This is basically Atlantis. So there's 3 normal villages.
And it sunk 1,000 years ago at the beginning of the war.
Right. There's Matanui, the island, with all the villages on it. There's Metronui, the island city. Then there's Voyanui, which is this other island place. And now there's, what is this? Atlantis? Right. Now there's Atlantis.
Marinui.
Marinui, which is Atlantis. So these 4 big islands, all with their own inhabitants, live inside this giant robotic being that is asleep and dying, that has stars inside of it that shoot lightning.
Yep.
I am following this so far.
The village was threatened by ancient warlords known as the Baraki that had been mutated by the nearby mutagenic waters called the Pit. The Toa,
Very original, guys. Very original.
the Toa, now known as Toa Mari, faced off against the Baraki to survive. However,
The fish Toa. These are the fish Toa.
However, by the time the Toa retrieved the mask, the Great Spirit died.
The Great Spirit was...
Is it Mat?
Wasn't that the thing that shot out that was also named Matanui?
Apparently. But
Crap.
what is
Did all this stuff...
what is going on?
Wait, so they retrieved the mask that had a will of its own, that was running from it.
Yeah. That turned them into fish.
Okay.
The Great Spirit died. Realizing there was still hope, the Toa Mataro rushed to the core of the universe and
Wait.
the heart, I guess, the giant robot's heart, if we're comparing this to organs.
Well, the giant robot is the universe. So the core of the universe would be like
something, rushed to the core of the universe and sacrificed his life to revive Matanui. In the last moments of his life, Toa Matoro used the mass power to teleport the Toa Mari back to Metronui and allow them to breathe air again. The Great Spirit's life was saved, but he still had to be awakened. Okay, so I guess the Great Spirit is just the giant robot, not his spirit. But they don't...
The Great Spirit is the giant robot, but the giant robot's spirit is still on this other planet, making a smaller giant robot body.
Yeah, but they don't know that, because they're inside him, and they don't realize that he's actually gone. 2008, the final battle. Except for there are 2 more years.
The final battle again.
Alright. It's like Final Fantasy. It's never the Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 50,000.
2008, the final battle. After being equipped with new armor and weapons by Artaka, the Toa Nuva arrived at Cardanui, the core of the universe. There they came to face the Makuta. There are multiple Makuta, apparently. Who were trying to turn the population of Matoran, Matoran of Light, into Shadow Matoran. Makes sense. The Toa Nuva were helped by the arrival of Takanuva, now able to control light and shadow because of a Shadow Leech attack. You get attacked by a leech, and it gives you powers.
How much PP do you think that move has? Shadow Leech attack! Probably not that powerful though.
Probably 5.
It's like 50 accuracy.
And Toa Ignika, who is the Mask of Life itself.
So the guy empowered by the Toa
No, the mask that is alive on its own was like, I'm just gonna make myself a body.
Okay, so
hey guys.
So there's the Toa Nuva. This Toa that the mask created that has the Shadow Leech power.
Yeah.
And now there's the Mask of Light Toa, or the Mask of Life Toa.
Yeah.
It's just like, yo, I'm the Mask of Life.
And then there were the 6 Matoran that became Toa.
So there's 12 Toa, and then the Shadow Light Toa, and then the Life Toa.
Yeah.
Right now.
So that makes 14. The Kanoe Ignika had made a body for itself because it wished to see what it was like to be a living being, and because it was inspired by Matoro to become a hero. Well, except for... No, there's only 13, because Matoro sacrificed himself to revive Matanui.
Right. The giant robot man.
Yeah. With their combined forces, they reached a structure in the center of Cardanui called the Kodrex, where Toa Ignika had to sacrifice his new body to awaken Matanui. So they saved its life, and now they're trying to wake it up, so they're gonna die.
So, the Mask of Life that made its own body sacrificed its body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Takanuva, with the help of the remaining uncorrupted Avmatoran, returned the Shadow Matoran to their previous states. Shortly afterwards, the Toa escaped the core before the energy storm caused by Matanui's awakening could destroy them.
So Matanui wakes up and has heartburn. That's going to destroy everyone.
Basically.
What? When I have heartburn, it doesn't, like, eat away my organs and it's like, rah!
Well, it might eat away some of the bacteria inside your stomach, which is basically what they are.
Cool.
Let's see.
How do you come up with this?
The Makuta, however, failed to escape and were all killed. Awesome. Back in Matanui, Matanui's awakening was celebrated, but the celebration was cut short when it was revealed that Pterodax had taken over the body of Matanui, revealed to be the universe of the Matoran. So now they finally...
They figured out that Matanui is the universe, but they figured it out because this evil guy took it over.
Yeah, so basically, they just realized that they're inside a giant robot, and they're like, well, I guess we're... No more celebrations. Trapping the spirit of Matanui in the Mask of Life, he sent it flying into space so that the former Great Spirit cannot interfere with his control over the universe.
So he takes over the giant body, which is the universe, and then sends the giant body spirit to the other planet, which happened at the beginning.
Yeah, but...
Which we knew happened at the beginning, but they're just doing it
They just
now.
got it. Yeah.
Because all of this happens before the stuff we read at the beginning.
Yeah. 2009. The Legend Reborn. The Bionicle story continues after Matanui was banished from his body by Makuta Pterodax onto a planet called Barra Magna.
So there's another giant robot.
Well, it's just another... It's a planet.
Okay.
It's like if... Alright, it's like if Galactus was as big as a planet.
He's bigger than planets. He eats planets.
Okay, Galactus... Alright, so... Matanui, the giant robot, is like Galactus, and they just spit something out of his mouth.
And that's Matanui's spirit.
Yeah, and that's his spirit, and it lands on another planet and makes a body for itself. With the exception of a few wildlife species, Barra Magna is a barren desert planet which only supports few resources, so each tribe on the planet has a few warriors called Glotorian to battle for them. These resources, such as food and water, are distributed accordingly. The villagers of this world are known as Agori. The Agori together make up 6 different tribes, once again.
6 again? Like, GTFO with the number 6.
Each affiliated with a region. After the Mask of Life lands on Barra Magna, it creates a body for Matanui to use. Matanui then teams up with a few Glotorian to defeat the combined forces of the Skrull and Bone Hunters, 2 major threats in the villages, and look for a way to return to his body. With the help of his new Glotorian and Agori friends, he exposes a traitor known as Metus, and defeats the Skrull and Bone Hunters. He helps the villages of the world to unite, taking all of the giant pieces of robot and linking them into a large prototype robotic body.
Linking them?
A body like the one the Matoran universe resides in.
Like a Megazord.
Kind of. But this means that you can make a giant robot that has a universe inside it.
Cool.
2010, Journey's End.
Thank God.
After defeating the Skrull and seeing the rest of the villages unite, Matanui stands against the challenge of taking back his old body from Pterodax. He learns that he was created by the great beings on the planet of Spherus Magna. So, alright, there's 2 planets, and then there's the giant robot
body,
and now they're making a new giant robot body so that he can fight the evil spirit that's taken over his giant body, so that he can get back his giant body and rule the universe inside it. Anyways,
who came up with this?
Created by the great beings on the planet of Spherus Magna, which is now divided into a jungle moon, Bata Magna, an ocean moon, Aqua Magna, and the remaining desert planet, Barra Magna. Okay, so it's...
If you've watched this video up to the point of 33 minutes, you are awesome, and I love you forever.
Okay, so it's actually, it was a planet, and then it got divided into 3 planets.
Nice.
Alright, one of which is Barra Magna, so... There's 3 planets and a giant robot that they're building.
Okay, so evil giant robot, or giant robot that was originally good but is now possessed, which has the 4 cities in it. 2 planets, one of which split into 3 planets. So a total of 4 planets. And then on one of the planets...
No, it was one planet that got split into 3 planets. One of the planets is the planet that he went to.
Okay.
So it's only 3 planets.
Okay, so there's 3 planets. And then they're building another giant robot body to fight the first giant robot body that got possessed.
Yeah.
So we can get that giant robot body back.
So, anyways,
The Exorcist or something.
So, Spherus...
So, spoiler alert.
The Spherus Magna, is divided into 3 sections, as the result of the Core War. Matanui also learns that before he was built, there was a previous robot, which the Agori used as their home. Alright, so now there's 3 giant robots.
2.5. They're building.
Yeah. An Agori of Tessara, named Tarduk, helps Matanui by showing him an ancient power source that could power up the old robot.
The old robot.
In this final journey, 2 heroes return to finish the fight. Tahu returned to his original form to wear the powerful golden armor, and Takanuva. They are aided by Gresh. They fight off the Skakti warlord Nektan to defeat Makuta and his army, hordes of Rakshi armed with heat vision and Skrull.
Cool.
All the Rakshi get heat vision. The story continues as the forces of both the Matoran universe and Glotorian face the oncoming onslaught of Skakti, Rakshi, and Skrull.
With heat vision. Now with heat vision.
Oh my gosh. And scroll. The golden armor scattered by Makuda's blast is collected by Tahu, Gresh, and Takanuva from the many enemies. Tahu defeats Skakti Warlord Nektan and then dons the armor, which incinerates every Rakshakrata on Bara Magna. So,
put armor on and incinerates people.
So somehow 2 of the Toa from inside the giant robot got out onto Bara Magna. Probably because the giant robot like sneezed or something, and they came out. And now they're helping Matanui in like the final fight. Yeah, who is the Mask of Life, who has a body and is like a Toa, working with Glatorians on Bara Magna, who are making a giant robot so that they can get back inside the other giant robot
to fight the possessed giant robot of Matanui.
Yeah, which is.
Please tell me that.
Pterodax claims that he will destroy Bara Magna with gravitic energy until Matanui forces his arm upwards, causing Pterodax to send the energy wave to the moons above.
How does that work out? Like, I'm gonna destroy this. Oh, whoops! Like, what?
He tickled.
Don't tickle me.
Causing Pterodax to send the energy waves to the moons above. When Pterodax wants to continue the fight, he was momentarily weakened by the destruction of his Roxy legions. I guess they all
got destroyed because he put on the armor and made him. They were incinerated.
That's what it's saying. Yeah, he's weakened.
So he was disoriented. He was like, "Oh no, my whole army's gone."
I don't know. Maybe they were like Horcruxes, like in Harry Potter. I just hate Harry Potter. Anyways, Matanui took advantage of the distraction and pushes Pterodax back into one of the onrushing fragments of the moon, Aqua Magna. Apparently there's, like, no, I don't know, these moons, like, don't have... Yeah, there's kind of, like, in space, so it doesn't really matter. There's, like, a giant fragment of the moon that got exploded heading towards the other moon, and it doesn't, affect it anyway.
Small details in life.
Anyways, onrushing fragments of the moon Aqua Magna, whose impact destroys his core processor, Intel Pentium, which kills Pterodax.
We do not endorse any products at all on this show.
Matanui then warns the brother that he could have had in his mind.
Does it really say that?
I don't know if he mourns him, like, in his head, like, he's thinking, like, oh, I'm sad for him, and, like, doesn't cry, or if it means he could have had a brother in his mind. I guess they could have been, like, friends in the giant skull of the giant robot, hanging out, whatever.
Please, we're almost done. Please,
the finale concludes when Matanui uses his strength and the power of
the spirit.
And the power of the Mask of Life to bring Spherus Magna together once more.
Which was the planet.
So, he takes these 3 moons, 3 planets, whatever, and brings them all with his power. He has the power to make a freaking planet.
He pulls a reverse Galactus.
Yeah. It's like, if Galactus threw it. Let's see. To bring Spherus Magna together once more, to heal those who are mutated by Pit Mutagen, to bring life back to the planet, and to reconstruct destroyed geographical features. The strain causes his power core to dissipate, destroying the prototype robot. So during the fight, the way he actually got his, Makuda's arms to, like, shoot up, he was actually they actually finished the giant robot, and they were fighting, and then he, like, knocks his arms up, whatever. The other one dies, and he's like, oh, well, I'm sad about that. And then, because he's in the giant robot body, he's like, alright, I'm gonna make a planet. This'll be fun. And then fix everything, and that depletes the power core that they use to make the giant robot. Fun times. Destroying the prototype robot. When the Glatorian and Toa discover the Ignika unscathed in the location where Matanui was, Matanui speaks to them from within the Mask of Life. He tells them that the future is their own and theirs to build. He then remains dormant in the Ignika. The Agori, Matoran, Toa, Glatorian, and all others begin a new life on Spherus Magnus. So, he was fighting this entire time to gain control of his body.
That he never gained control of.
Yeah.
That is still possessed by the evil guy.
No.
or whatever.
No, he destroyed Pterodax.
Ah. Missed that part.
But somehow, somewhere along the line, in the destruction of Pterodax, the Matoran and all the guys within him got out. Somehow.
So he, like, bled out?
Yeah, like, all the organs were just like...
Okay. That's the end, right?
Yes. They begin a new life on Spherus Magnus.
Well... I don't know. Do you have anything to say? I don't have anything to say. Because I have no